Hello everyone and welcome back to War in the Pacific Admiral's Edition. Here as the Allies trying to defeat the Japanese. We got a couple years left if we want to try to be historical. And it's July 13, 1943. We don't get anywhere with that action by Vietnam or French Indochina. Alright, firing at a destroyer. Oh, 4 hits. That's not ideal. Alright, I'm not sure if this cargo ship is coming or going, but we get what was that, 1 torpedo into it? And yeah, heavy damage. That might sink. I don't think I hear it sinking, but it's far enough away from the island, the Marianas there, that maybe it'll sink anyway, but got a lot of subs patrolling that area because trying to keep him from reinforcing the Marianas, or at least make it very challenging. And of course he's patrolling that. If you'll look at all the firing, and in fact he runs out of ammo as a result. That's got to be frustrating. Alright, so now a different sub takes over and gets another torpedo into it. Oh no. Well, we sank one. The other one we get a dud into it, maybe 2 duds. Again, the dud rate is very high still, so I'm not sure. Not sure when my American Mark 14 curses ends, but if it's already ended, then we're just getting bad dice rolls. Alright, we're coming in for another attack at Rangoon, but this time I'm trying to get the port. Alright, just knocking these raids out, getting through them quick. Pardon me. We do get some supply hits and fuel hits here at Rangoon. I'm not so worried about the fuel hits, but if we can do some supply damage, it's always nice. Alright, let's see how these Vengeance ones do. And in their dive bombing run, they do some damage plus hit some supply there. Ooh, and that's flying at 20,000 feet. We suffer a loss there. Ouch. Alright, doing some decent damage here at Makassar's port. A lot of hits, and including supply and fuel. Nothing there, wow. Alright, that was the morning. Now we got afternoon here. Usually not as much going on. Let's see what happens. I think I'm gonna fly cap over Sion this time. Okay, I think this is the one we missed earlier in the day. And, but this time we gotta, oh no, we hit it, but it was a dud or maybe two duds. I think this is the same ship, but I didn't memorize the name. Let's go. All right, and it does sound like it's sinking. I don't know if it'll have, um, I don't know if it'll have a, if it'll be in, if it's a confirmed enough kill to show up in the sunk ship list, but we'll take it. All right, guess that kind of, ooh, Minus port size 4. That's a good, nice, good upgrade. Okay, good. Some base forces, nice. Get those on the front lines quickly. Getting some Soviet units too. They must be confident they're in Europe. Okay, I did want to quickly interject and show that with more than double the sorties, we had the same casualties. We did lose 2 aircraft to flak, but he lost 5 to ops, so total 5 to 5. Take a quick look here. He lost some sallies, possibly after taking some flak damage. They had to write him off, and some other miscellaneous things. And we lost 2 B-24D1s. I don't think that's a fair trade. 2 of our heavies for 2 of his sallies. However, it is what it is. No surprise here with the C-47 lost. And then Hudson. Anyway, you can see what that's all about. We probably lost 2 crew at least. Yeah, that's exactly what we lost. And then if we look here, you can go ahead and see we sank a couple of these cargo ships. I think this is all we sank, but I don't remember. I didn't keep a close tally, and anyway, these are decent ships. 10,000 endurance, 3,500 cargo. So probably identical here. So that's pretty nice. Okay, moving on. Okay, we're back on July 14. Ooh, just straight up miss this time. Well, I mean, I can't complain about a dud if it's just a complete miss. All right, we do have night bombing here, and he has some nicks flying, so um, let's get through that. I don't know if we're gonna lose any of these. Well, it looks like no, but we also don't hit anything. Okay, we got more, but he has more fighters. We shoot one down. I think it's a good idea to use these nicks. We do get a supply hit off, but that's it. I was hoping to hit some aircraft. But as I've come to expect, um, it's bad weather. So even though the moonlight is 96%, the weather is bad. Well, unless my pilots are exhausted, I'm probably gonna keep doing that. Keep um, working that night bombing. Let's see. All right, all right. I don't hear a sinking sound. We didn't. It's not gone yet, but we'll see. I'm gonna keep bombing as long as the moonlight's high, and maybe we'll get lucky. But also his fighters, intercepting us, even if they don't make a hit, they disturb our accuracy, which is unfortunate. Speaking of unfortunate, missing there against that cargo ship. All right, as you can see, we have these Hudson 3s flying patrol against subs. Um, all right, Changsha has thunderstorms. That'll help a little bit. All right, I think I'm going to be intercepting him again with my P-38s over China. We'll see how that goes. I should try to cap that sometime. Maybe the next time I um, fly cap, I'll fly over that hex. All right, it's Xi'an we're flying. Okay, I thought it was the ground troops to the right of that, but this is good. Maybe we can get into some of these sallies here because his Tojos are flying cap instead of, I mean, sorry, escort instead of sweep. And I'm flying low. I just don't remember that. And it was just last night I did this, but I thought I set it up for capping the ground troops. But anyway, oh, I remember now. I was debating flying cap over the ground troops, but then I thought, well, what if he doesn't bomb this time, and we just wasted a good sortie here. All right, so now we can go after his bombers. I'm gonna skip forward. I'm gonna see how many sallies we can get with 8 lightnings left. So let's go. All right, we get 4. That's not real high numbers. But we do get a few Tojos as well. And he only does 3 runway hits. I think that was a worthy cap trap there. Now he may still sweep, in which case we'll have to deal with that when it comes. His sweep may just be running a little late. Alright, this one I could also cap, but my flak is pretty good as well. Although I wouldn't mind occasionally throwing cap into the mix. This is where I was thinking if he bombs this, I want to take out some bombers. But, yeah, I guess I made my choice. We do lose a Wellington, which our replacement rate is so terrible. That's unfortunate. Um, but we do cause some damage to the base. Alright, we're still hitting Makassar. I want to keep damaging the port here, if possible. Alright, that's a good raid. Yeah, I figured this would happen. We may lose these lightnings. All we got left is two after all that interaction with the bombers. Plus, he's diving on us. He's got the height advantage. But now now we're on even ground. Well, I guess, let's see. See if we can get out of this alive. Oh, nope. We lost one of our P-38s. That's unfortunate. Yeah, this hex I'd like to cap, but I don't know. I can't remember how far away it is from Chungking, and for now, I think I'm gonna be content hanging out at Chungking, basing my P-38s there. All right, we got 3 attacks in on that same submarine. We'll see if we can make one of those count, even if we drive it back to base. I do have a patrol boat, I should say, and a submarine operation going over there to push it away. All right, so we got some upgrades here. Namatanai, Hollandia Port 2, that's good. We'll have to see what reinforcements come in and take a look at the map. Maybe get caught up on the uh, ops report. Ooh, another light carrier. We'll take it. And the Yorktown 2 is still sitting there. So we'll have a few ships to gather and collect and escort. And yeah, we'll have a pretty formidable carrier strike force just with the 2 carriers sitting in Balboa. That's really cool. I'm excited. Wow, a lot of stuff today. A lot of new toys. All right, just wanted to start here with the Yorktown 2 parked at Balboa. And I just went ahead and threw together a quick air combat task force. Maybe I'll take a look at what we got, you know, with our settings here, but just this is what we're going to be bringing on map. I say on map, out into the Pacific, join the action there in the Southwest Pacific. Just threw this together. I'm not worried about a particular leader just yet. Well, this one is a terrible leader for Carrier Strike Force. I could change it. I'm not going to necessarily mess with that yet because I don't know the composition of this, the final composition of this task force. Maybe we'll throw our Independence light carrier in here and have our own small airstrike force. We'll look at that. But also the Baltimore is going to show up tomorrow, and in fact, maybe I'll just say I don't know if we can do this off map, but we'll merge with that, and not that it's a big deal. We'll give it another day. Bring the Baltimore into here. I think whatever else is coming in here is just moving supplies and fuel and things here and there. Um, Speaking of which, yeah, I think, yeah, these may, basically all these ships are coming to bring stuff from Cristobal to the South Pacific, and perhaps some will stay in the South Pacific to bring supplies and fuel further on. But anyway, that's the situation here. And I was a little bit excited about our opportunities there. We did get an air unit, I think a Marine air unit here. This guy. Um, and right now it looks like it has a detachment. Where did that go? Looks like it's all sitting. Oh no. Okay, yeah, it looks like some of these air units are coming in a bit later. I don't know what to do with all this. But it looks like also this is new aircraft. Um, it looks like a night fighter. Okay, so why don't we train it actually to fight air units? And we can do a little bit of air defensiveness with some upgrading this strafe as well, and get that defensiveness up as well as the ability to shoot down. Now he hasn't been hitting us with night bombing in a while. But look, we carry bombs as well, so if we have to, we can use these offensively. The gun value is pretty strong with 24, but it looks like some of this is rear gunners or what is that, top turret. Um, but if we look at this, 650 caliber machine guns, those will be in the front and the nose to be able to shoot down bombers. And I don't know how, if it does, if it what's the word? How, how it maths out if it does. Maybe there's a pass as they shoot at a bomber, and when they pass the bomber, the turret fires as well. I'm not sure how that works, if it even does, um, within the game. And yeah, this is not a bad. It has good range, and now it doesn't have any drop tanks. That's okay. Anyway, and then it looks like there's no upgrade path. We're just gonna use these guys until we get withdrawn in about a year. All right, that just stood out to me, that reinforcement. All right, let's move forward and talk about the report if there is anything important or interesting. Um, we supposedly hit this multiple times, but the I-123 got some kills by our P-38 pilots there in China. Um, Even if we lost one of our P-38Hs, we should. The pilot should be okay because that was friendly territory. We've got the Maryland, and so my battleship bombardment group is ready to move out from Sydney. I think that's the South Pacific. But anyway, I'll worry about that later. Um, and then these the bases upgrade we already noted, but we have a lot of repairs. So let's upgrades. We got some Soviet divisions upgrading. I went ahead and decided we have a plenty of 1943 devices for Soviets, so let's throw them out there. We we're getting a lot of reports that these Japanese ships are still in service. So I need to be more, apparently a little bit more aggressive and sink a lot more stuff and make it count, right? Just go out and blast them. Um, we have repairs on tankers. We can get more fuel into Australia. A lot of these cargo ships at Brisbane upgraded, ready to go. That's a lot of stuff. And then, yeah, Soviet stuff. These are just name changes. Um, and then we got all these upgrades, plenty of destroyers. We're gonna have to bring them out of Eastern USA to get them into the Pacific. We got some stuff arriving in the SF area. We got a fast transport here, um, and even a minesweeper, submarines, oilers, a lot of stuff. You can see all this. Some New Zealand and Australian squadrons. I yeah, this VP-53 was a transfer from Eastern USA. I want to get that to SF and then um, out into the Pacific as soon as I can. All right. Well, that's a big day for reinforcements. We did lose a total of 4 aircraft. I thought we were going to lose more than that just by ops loss. I thought we were going to lose a lot of ops losses with all the action we had today, especially the night bombing and everything. But it's not a bad day. He lost 25. Let's look at the details here. A lot of Tojos and Nicks. The Nicks are unfortunate due to the night action. I lost a lot of Sallies also. The Tojos and Sallies over Xi'an, that's total of 8 direct that we're directly responsible for. And then, of course, he lost a lot due to probably write-offs or crashes when they land. Lost some zeros and other things. We lost, of course, a P-38. I thought maybe we'd lose at least one more from ops, but that's a good day. Wellington, 1C, we saw that get shot down. And then, surprise, surprise, we didn't lose any air transports today. But we do lose a couple of other aircraft that bombed at Pegu. So, total of 3 aircraft lost due to our bombing of Pegu. But we got to keep up the pressure. Now, if we look at pilots, we did lose 2 killed pilots, but I'm not 100% sure. I guess we can, if I remember. All right, feel free to take a look here. What's happened recently? I think we may have sank or come close to sinking another ship. But let me look here real fast. I should be able to quickly find out if we lost any pilots here. We did not lose any of these pilots, so that's good. But I will stand them down. They get high fatigue because I do 100% coverage when I do these long distance caps, and I'm thinking if I move over here, this is 17. So the problem is this guy, when I do drop tanks, 12 is the max for normal, and Actually, we did 36,000 feet and we still shot up those bombers. I'm actually surprised. I set it to 36,000 to take out the fighters that were sweeping, but we still fought the bombers at their altitude. That's good. In any case, I think it's out of. I'm not going to be able to cover this unless I were to move my fighters down to, like, say, Kuilin. But even then, we're flying at extended range, and that's going to strain our aircraft even more. I think we'll stay at Chungking, and we'll go back and forth between covering Changsha, Xi'an, and this ground attack here east of Xi'an. Anyway, that was just kind of inserting that into because I was trying to think about who we lost pilots wise. It's possible that what we lost then is related to Pegu. All right, so let's see here. Uh, we got Central Pacific, which nothing's going on at the moment. I am getting in position to go after an Enuitak soon. Um, And speaking of which, I'm working on. If I didn't point this out, I've got um, PBYs perked here, spotting up, giving us extra cover over Daub, and also we see this. So something's going on here. I don't even know what this is. Maybe just like trying to see what's going on, maybe trying to entice, you know, entice us bombing him to see where we are. In any case, we've got spotters here. He's not looking at us here, or he has no recon over it. And let's see. Oh, but I am working on getting the troops finalized loading for Manokwari, and then we can bounce up to Sorong. Once we get Manokwari, I'm gonna move this little gig a bit further on. What is okay? I was hoping to unload. Maybe I have to hit this unload. Because I am under the sneaking suspicion that these will not unload, and then we'll just auto disband as soon as it's unloaded. I'm under the sneaking suspicion that I'll make sure we'll just leave it here. I'm under the sneaky suspicion that you need supplies at the base to fly. Just having supplies on the ship doesn't count. That's just my hunch because it feels like whenever I've put these seaplane bases forward and I have aircraft here flying, they don't seem to do anything unless there's supply at the base. They don't seem to fly at all. In any case, this is going to be withdrawn soon anyway. But I thought, hey, let's get a forward group going, and when we have to withdraw it, it might be around the time we invade here. But that's why I have a couple of patrol squadrons at San Francisco because I'm going to bring them over into this theater. I want to just blanket this area with sea patrol, and that'll include Manokwari and further Sorong and so forth. Anyway, we're also snooping here at Balikpapan. You may note that I have a seaplane tender here. He spotted my little task force of one AVP, and so I just quickly disbanded it here instead of unloading the supplies like I want to do over here at Biak. Instead of doing that, I just disbanded it into port because I didn't want to take any chances. And but I'm not stressed about getting spotters here. It would be nice to set them here to look over Surabaya, but for now, I'm content with what I have going on. But soon, I plan to get a group here go searching. In any case, this island has been very useful for me discovering that he's got things happening at Balikpapan, and I would love to hit that base. I think it's out of range of any heavy bombers I got. 18. Ooh. Okay, I'm tempted now. We have all of these bombers here, well, except for the Fs, all of these bombers can reach that with, 400 or 500 pound bombs each. But it might be worth bombing his oil. Um, and I think I would hit the oil because if I damage the refineries, that's fine. He'll just move the oil. But if I focus on the oil, the refineries won't be producing anything anyway, and then he'll have less oil and fuel for that matter to move out of there. All right, so we're gonna try that. All right, anyway, oh, and then turn that off, and I am, so I've got three things literally happening all at once. I've got transports preparing to pick up troops for Ambon, transports preparing to pick up troops for Manokwari, and transports preparing to pick up troops for Eniwetok. As soon as we get those three bases, I have things I need to have a lot of sea lift capacity because I've got a lot of troops, but they're all out of position. I've got engineers. I just need to consolidate better, organize how I'm structuring these bases and the building up thereof. But uh, the process is kind of rigorous because I just don't have. I mean I'm not. I feel like I have a lot of assets, but I'm saying for optimal to make optimal use of what I have on the ground, I would love to have even more transports. But we're making it work, and the main thing is getting some of these captured. But then I want to optimize my use of transports to shuffle these rear units around to get them in position where I can maximize the use. Plus, it's frustrating taking an island and building it up really fast, um, and then the engineers are sitting there waiting for the next base to be taken. Now that's 100% on me, but what I'm saying, because I should just be ready to take the next base. But what I'm saying is then these rear units haven't even got brought to the front where we've already optimized and now we're ready to invade. These rear guys a lot of times just are stuck back here for months. And that may also have some realistic, role play effect as well, because a lot of these guys, not every unit was on always on the front lines. In any case, I am excited about the units that are um, coming, ground and air and sea units that are coming that allow me to do offensives in multiple areas. But I'm really excited about the Philippines operation because that'll give me the ability to really maximize my concentration of ground troops to be able to get tanks and infantry and artillery in action on these longer campaigns rather than just base hopping. But I'm trying to enjoy all of it, and it's kind of fun. So we'll see. And anyway, moving on. I've briefly talked about my Burma, my approach up in this theater, Port Blair, Rangoon, and Pegu kind of operation, simultaneous operation. And one opportunity I was debating is to bring this Chinese corps to help, but instead I'm going to leave this Chinese Corps here to man this river front, and I'll bring tanks instead. So in addition to the 1382 AFVs, we're going to have potentially, well, I'm going to say 600, but probably not all those are in these two armored units. But then I'll leave the ground troops, I think, at this river line. And then I'm bringing the fifth as soon as the fifth Indian gets into this area, we're going to we're gonna get our tanks in motion to get in position here, and then this East African is going to take a long time to get in position because it's still moving across. But as soon as it gets to this base here, Katha or Kata, I don't know if the H is. Anyway, um, so we're going to put it on a rail and rail it down to Tungu and then march. That's going to take a few days, all of that. So we're looking at maybe 10 days to 2 weeks before we can pull this off. But that's okay because what's delaying probably even more is the buyout of this division, which we can buy this, and I'm going to go ahead and do that. I want to keep things moving as quickly as possible. Um, what do we do? 14th Army. Um, so now that it's been bought, we can replace, upgrade. Um, so yeah, I should possibly buy out. No, sorry, what was I gonna say? Oh, I should possibly rest these. I don't know that resting helps once you get past a certain point. But and it looks like the A regiment is filled out for the most part. Maybe we need a few more 25 pounders. Um, just two more, no big deal. But it looks like it doesn't necessarily need to rest, so we're fine. Yeah, I'm very intrigued with the operation to capture Port Blair. Um, I'm torn. I may have to send a carrier or multiple somethings up into this area to assist with our operation there. Very nervous. I can see some good opportunities here, but I'm very nervous about what he might have in the theater to counter whatever I'm going to do here. So let's see how that goes. We got more time. I should move. I am I'm keeping my eye on, I don't remember what it is anymore, Tavoy. He doesn't have anything going on here anymore. He seems to have pulled back, but I don't know where he has his air units and stuff, like torpedo bombers. So when we come in to take Port Blair, is he gonna counter with something? So I would love to have more air cover if we can maybe have some various things to protect our ships. I'll see what we got, what opportunities we got here. By the way, it looks like I just noticed this. It looks like we got some landing ships here, just parked. So I'll probably grab some more vessels and sneak them up to Madras. But anyway, so that operation is in the works, and is a few weeks away. Well, if we get 50 political points per day, um, we have 24. That means, let's say, 8 days. So maybe we can buy this last unit in 8 days, and this 11th will be down in this area around that time. Maybe we can pull it off in, let's say, 2 weeks from today. Pull the trigger on that. It'll be interesting. Um, all right, looking in China, there's not really much to talk about. We had a successful cap over Xi'an, which took less damage as a result. Our supply situation is unchanged as far as it's dire, and that's all there is to know about that. And you can see here, a lot of troops are just completely out of supply. But the same situation can be said for Changsha as well. Um, Fortunately, our anti-aircraft unit is still in good shape with supplies. The Chinese anti-aircraft is not useful as of right now. And I guess that's that. The anti-aircraft unit we brought here has not been assisting us because he's not bombing here. So it's moved here to wither and die, which is unfortunate. Um, I guess that's kind of it. I can't think of anything else at the moment, but we'll be back on the 15th to talk about more things and to see how things continue to play out. I will say one more thing. I will reiterate. I plan to try to bomb Bangkok yet again. It looks like he has less fighters. I don't think that's a result only of our bombers shooting down aircraft. And my guess is he's pulling some away. Oh, well, let me back up a second. It does say, I have read that the number of aircraft that you see here, well, first of all, is subject to fog of war, but it's also a result of what's available and active. There could be a lot more things here that are damaged and just parked on the ground. So there's that too. But anyway, well, we'll see you next time. Thanks for joining me and take care. Have a great rest of your day. Bye.